I just got home from work and I had a nice surprise waiting for me, so I'm just going to do a little unboxing of it and Maddie's going to film it. Super excited. Ooh, I got stickers. Sweet. I love getting stickers. Oh my god. Check that out. Oh, I'm so stoked. Those look so sick. Oh shit, that kind of. Oh my god. Check that out. I'm so stoked. Holy crap. That's the front. Here's the springs for the back. Bubble wrapped. We got tons of packing stuff in here. And we got the adjustment tools. And there's the little knobs for the rear shocks, which are right here. I'll open this. I feel like a kid on Christmas. Except I'm a lot luckier. I'm trying not to cut all the way through because I don't want to get them. Well, I can say they definitely wrap it up good. Jeez. Right on. Check that out. DC Racing custom coilovers for a Volvo S60. Who'da thunk it? What's going on, everybody? Coming at you today with possibly a coilover install here. I'm gonna go outside and see, just kind of look at things, get the car up in the air, see how I feel, because I will be doing this alone if I do it today. So yeah, I'm gonna go outside, get the car up in the air, and get ready to put some coilovers on the car. And luckily I do have this awesome new tripod just in case I do have to end up doing this alone that my kitty won't stop messing with. Alright, so now that we got the car up in the air, I'm going to go ahead and take the wheels off. Alright, so once again we see that we got the BC Racing BR Series coilovers for Volvo S60. These, I kind of did the unboxing before, but these are super high quality. I'm really digging them so far. I've been dying to get them on the car, and I think today's finally going to be the day because I've already got this far. Alright, so the first thing I want to do is just get comfortable with all the mounting points, make sure I know exactly where I'm going to access everything at, because I think that's a good place to start. Also, I clearly have a little bit of things obscuring my path here in the trunk, so I'm thinking I'm probably going to have to pull these subs out, which sucks because it's a real bitch. But at least I got the car lifted up a little bit, so that'll be a lot easier on the back. Alright, so I've taken the front on and off a million times, however I've never done the back, so this is what we're looking at. It looks like on the Volvo S60 we have the spring going around the, I don't know why I'm forgetting the name of that right now, but yeah, the shock. And it looks like we are going to have to get up in the trunk somewhere to get access to that bolt. But I'm not seeing where, and I think it's like right up in front where that little hole is, right there in the center of the screen. I think that is where I'm gonna have to access that from. I'm gonna go ahead and get all this stuff pulled out of here though and see what we're working with. Alright, I got my back seats folded down, I got the subs unhooked, so now it's time to pull them out, and I'm gonna set the camera up on a tripod and just time lapse it for you guys. And as we can see, it is good that we have this out, because that would be nice to be able to clean that up. And go ahead and set the camera back up right here. Let me angle you guys. Alright, so my bad, I accidentally stopped recording there, but now I think, if we're lucky, that should be the coil, the top of the coil right there, or where the coil is going to go. Alright, I'm kidnapping you guys from the tripod here. So let me show you Volvo S60 owners out there. There is a little clip right here. Mine's being really hard to get off right now, but we got to get this piece off, and then we can get this whole thing off. And that is going to be the top of the shock, I believe. Don't quote me on that yet, because I haven't been able to get to it yet, but I think that's exactly where it is. Alright, so once you get that clip out right there, this piece comes out. We can come back around, and I'm sure you guys all know this if you own the S60, but this is our back seat release, and this thing locks and keeps us from moving. That clicks in there a little bit further, but just turn that to the left, and then that'll open. You also got another fuse box back here. This is how you access your brake lights, in case you guys don't know that. And lastly, make sure that you undo these bolts, otherwise you're going to end up ripping the fabric. You might not care, but you know, the older these cars get, it's better to have stuff that actually is the way it's supposed to be. And there is another clip up here, but my carpet was ripped, so it kind of just pulled right off of it. But yeah, check for these clips up here. You don't have, I don't think you have that one on this side, but let's see. You do, but I don't, so there's that. Alright, it turns out those weren't bolts. They were actually these terrible little plastic nuts, and they had these barbs on the bottom of it that are guaranteed to rip up your carpet, and I didn't know it was plastic until I got it out of the car. So if I was you guys, I'd say break that. Just break that and find a different nut to replace it, because that thing sucks. Alright, so let's take a closer look inside the trunk. Sorry about the wind noise, guys. I'm sure it's there. Yeah, that's how windy it is out here. That just fell out of the tree and almost killed me. Alright, so let's see if indeed that's where we're going to access our suspension. And there you have it. That is clearly the top of our suspension, so I'm going to pull that foam piece off the other one, and I guess we're going to go under the car, check everything under there first, and then hopefully get to dropping. I'm probably going to clean this up too, because this is really gross. Alright, as you can see, that looks a lot better. It was super gross, so basically the whole thing looked like this right here. I missed this spot. But yeah, so that's going to help keep us really clean through this thing. And this looks super simple. There's 3 bolts here, and then so I should only have to take those 3 bolts off the bottom, and I believe those 3 off the top and 1 off the bottom, and then that should be it. So let's check it out. Alright, let's come grab our creeper. Check that out. I bought that at a place somewhere one time, and now it's right there. I really honestly just get this thing to sit on it. I like hardly ever even lay down on this thing, but my butt don't like sitting on the ground. So alright, what are we working with? Alright, there's our bolt. So we take that one off the bottom, and we take the 3 off the top, and let's see, what else do we need to do? I think if we take the shock out, I believe it has enough room to just come right out of the bottom. The spring would still be right there, so I'm thinking maybe we want to, and yes guys, I'm not using instruction manuals or anything, I'm just kind of going at it. Probably going to want to put a jack under this just to put a little upwards tension on it so it doesn't come down if we take that out, because I don't want to get hit in the face with anything. That would suck. Alright, there is one thing I want to do first, and that is I have the adjustable rear toe arms for this, so I want to just hold them up next to this and try to get them adjusted to pretty much right where this is. And now that I'm saying that out loud, that sounds kind of stupid, because if lowering the car throws off the toe, then obviously these weren't the right length, so never mind on that. But just be aware, this is your toe arm for the rear. If you guys are gonna lower it, let me show you this over here real quick. If you guys raise a vehicle or lower it, sometimes it will throw off the toe, in which case, for my car, IPD, I think they're called IPD USA, but you guys probably know who I'm talking about if you have a Volvo. IPD sells these, and they are adjustable rear toe arms. They're also a sick color, that like Polestar blue. So we're probably gonna end up having to put those on here at the same time as we do the coilovers, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Alright, so let me show you guys where I put that. First, let me fold this tripod up. Alright, so as you can see there, that is the best place to jack the control arm up from. You're like kind of tempted to put it underneath this, but that's actually the shock. That's what we're taking out, so you don't want to put it under that. Put it right there, just give it like, I don't know, a 1/4 inch raise, not very much. And now we're gonna get to unbolting. I'm going to start with the bottom and then do the top. Alright, let's start out by me doing all the hard work for you guys. Finding out what everything is. This looks like it may be somewhere around the 19 actually. Let me check this. Not quite. So it's an 18 millimeter. Oh no, correction, 17 millimeter. And I'm putting it on my impact to make quick work of this. And hopefully I don't fuck anything up here. Excuse my language. Alright, that doesn't seem like it has enough tension on it. So I'm going to lift the jack up just a little bit. Right there. Alright, now that's out. And pray for me, guys. Hopefully I don't die right now. Still got a little tension on it. It's hitting threads. I'm trying to be gentle with them. Okay, so the shock was just pushing out a little bit, so that's why it had a lot of tension on it. Focus. Alright, as you can see, we didn't mess up the threads. We need to clean them up a little bit and put some Loctite on them before we put it back in. But we will be reusing this bolt, as well as these are the spring seats right here. We will be reusing those. If you don't want to reuse those, I think that's the spring seat. I hope I don't sound stupid right now. But if you don't want to reuse those, I know FCP Euro sells them for like 34 bucks, and you get a lifetime warranty on them, so that's a pretty sick deal. Now we're gonna get to getting our light back in the right place, and we're gonna go ahead and go in the trunk and uninstall the top. Alright, so now we're inside of the trunk, and excuse the crooked camera angle. It's only like that because the camera's crooked. So I'm going to go ahead and figure out what size these bolts are as well. Alright, so those were just what I thought. Those are all 12 millimeter. Yep, all three of those. So I'm going to go ahead and take those off now. Alright, I just want to take a pause real quick and make sure that I'm actually unbolting something I'm supposed to be right now. So I'll bring you guys along on this process, because honestly the camera's probably going to help me a little bit. And Katniss is under the car, and she's now tangled up. Good going. Alright. So, oh gosh, I don't even know if we're going to be able to see this. I'm trying to figure out what that third bolt is that we're unbolting. It doesn't look like it's going to be very easy. I'm going to try getting under the car right here. See if we can see it from this side. I gotta admit, if I had an iPhone, this would actually work better. Because of where the camera is. Okay, there we go. Alright, this is actually a sick angle, so I'm definitely going to include this. But you can see the one that's shining like the North Pole right there, that is the one that is furthest forward in the top up there. That's the one I said I didn't know what we were unbolting, and my guess would be the third one is on the other side of this where I can't get my hand. But now I verified for myself and for you guys that those 3 bolts they shouldn't do anything bad. They should just drop this straight down. And this is what I was saying, we definitely have a big enough area to get them out down here because this is massive. That's like the width of the widest part of this shock. So we're not gonna have to like drop the subframe or rear or whatever the hell this is. We're not gonna have to do anything weird. Yeah. Alright, so looks like our shock is still in. The bottom of it's still in the same place. So I'm gonna grab the bottom, or actually maybe I'll try to grab it right here. Give it a little shake. Go, hey buddy, why aren't you coming out of there? Let's go underneath. Alright, so I'm trying to keep my hand out of the way because I don't want it to get crushed if this thing just decides to fall. It looks like it's pried in there, guys, and that's why it's not coming out. So I'm going to try to get like a little pry bar or something and kind of open this up a little bit. Because it looks like this tab got hit by a rock or something hard and bent it back this way. So I'm going to get something and try to open that up a little bit, and then hopefully I don't get hit in the face with that. Alright, I just came over and looked at the rear on the BC, and I noticed that it only has 1 bolt on the top, but it does have this huge top hat, so I don't know if that 1 bolt is supposed to replace all of those and this holds it in. But before I go taking this whole thing apart, because I have a feeling I might have just unbolted the spring seat, I'm going to come back to the back and unbolt that center one right there and see if we can get it to fall down. I don't know if this is a good idea. I feel like it's not, because I know on the front, if you undo that top bolt, your whole suspension assembly is going to come apart, and it's kind of looking to me like what I just said. We unbolted some part of like the spring seat or something. You can kind of see the skeleton of it underneath there. So I'm not too sure on where to go from here. Let me do a little bit of research and I'll get back to you guys with the answer. Alright, so I got a little verification for you guys. Like I was saying, how this one only has the singular top bolt and not the 3. I just wanted to be sure that I was removing the correct stuff, and it turns out that I kind of was, kind of wasn't. So, since we got this on here still, I'm going to put these bolts back in, because what these are 3 or 4, they're for the upper spring mount, which I probably should have known just by looking at it, but I'm kind of just, I don't know, I've been dying to install these coilovers for like a week, so I'm not thinking. So I'm going to put those back in because I do not have a new upper mount to replace it with. So this is an 18mm nut, and all you got to do is loosen this one up. An impact gun will help a lot for this. If you don't have one, you still can do it. You just have to have a wrench. You can't use a socket because you have to be able to access that that Torx bit on top. So if you got this over the top, you're not going to be able to hold that still. So you would need an 18mm wrench with whatever size Torx bit that is. I don't know yet. It's probably like a T25 or something. That's what they always use in this car. There's like 3 sizes they use in this whole car. But I'm going to put this back together, and I'm going to grab my impact, and I'm going to hopefully just zip that 18mm nut right off. So as soon as I get these tightened back up, I'll get back with you guys. Alright, so now that I have that all tightened up, I just remembered that this set I have doesn't have an 18mm socket. So let's go search the toolbox. And what are you doing, huh, little missy? What are you doing out here, huh? This is Katniss. I don't think I've introduced her to the channel yet, but she's amazing, and she's like the softest cat in the world. Except for she's got a bunch of stickers in her raccoon tail. Alright, so luckily I'm obsessed enough with having every tool that I need. So just so happens that I did go and buy an 18mm separately. So let's see if we can get this bolt to just, God, I keep saying bolt, nut to just whiz off. I'm not gonna leave my mistakes uncorrected because you guys on YouTube are savage. So here we go. Nope, didn't come off. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab a Torx bit and a wrench, and we'll do it the boring way. Alright, so it's getting kind of hot in this trunk now. If you guessed that was a T40, you're right. Damn, I forgot my socket wrench out here. And I need more tools. Always so many tools for every part, or every install you do on a Volvo. You're gonna need your entire toolbox, so just bring the whole thing. And we got a visitor in here who is at the end of her leash, and that's why I put a leash on her. And because I have dogs next door and she'll go over the fence and die. Alright, so this is why you guys have to have a wrench. Because we need to put the wrench on here. Sorry, I don't have 3 hands, this is not easy. Alright. And voila, there's our setup. So I'm gonna take this off. I'm not gonna film it while I do it. Get out of there. Okay, I gotta go get her. Alright, so there we have it. Nut is off. Shock is still in there. You do have to pry it out. So let me go find a prying tool. Alright, out of all the things that I do have, a pry bar is not one of them. So I will be using just a breaker bar, but it should still get the job done. Alright, so we can see the shock looks like it's pretty much popping out. And there we go. I felt like I almost got hit in the face, but I didn't. You can see the top of the shock is right there. So I'm just gonna jimmy it out and voila. Alright, I'm really trying not to work too far ahead of the video without showing everybody what's going on, because I know there's not a single video out there of someone doing this install on this car. So I'll show you what I've done. As you can see, I can't get the spring out, so we need to get the whole knuckle and everything to drop down so we can get that out. The first thing I did is I took the nut off of this. It is a it's an 18mm, and you need to use a T40 Torx bit, again just like what we did inside of the trunk. It's the same story. So just get that free, so it'll come out. And now what I'm working on is, you can see on that side of the knuckle, maybe you can't, it's not adjusting. Yeah, we got an empty hole right there with some thread showing. That is this bolt that I'm trying to get out. And I'm saying a lot. I'm trying to think. I've got it almost all the way out, but it won't come out anymore. And I've tried moving the jack up and down in different tension spots to get it out, and it's not right where I have it is the loosest I've been able to get it so far. So I'm going to take some pliers, put them on the blank part of the bolt where there's no threads, and just see if I can pry it out. So I'll prop the phone up so you guys can see if anything crazy happens, and I'm going to try to rip this thing out here. Alright, so I'm starting to get it out. It's just the threads. Oh crap, I think my leg's been in the way the whole time. It's just the threads that are holding it in there, and the rubber bushing that's around it. It's really tight in there. So you kind of just got to work it out. I bet there's a spot in the suspension that gets it perfect, but I can't find it. So there we go. I just yanked the bolt out, and it did not mess up our threads, so we're good. Alright, so I've really been trying to avoid this, but I think I'm just wasting more time than I'm gaining. We're going to go ahead and take off the brakes, the rotor probably, and we're just going to take it all apart, lower it. I think that's probably involves the most amount of work. Well, on paper it would be the most amount of work, but trying to jimmy this thing out of here is it's just not happening. So we're gonna take it all apart, and then it's probably gonna be really easy. So I'll set it up for a time lapse and get to stripping this down. Alright, so here's my new idea. And I don't think it's a very good one, but I'm gonna discuss it with you guys. So, let me fix this tripod. Okay. We've got this bolt off. I've been trying to unbolt everything from this side and get it out of this side, but I just got the idea, and I honestly don't see why it would not work, because... Okay, so here's my idea. Let me start off with that. I'm thinking about taking that bolt off right there and dropping this side of the control arm, and I would be able to just get the spring right out of the back there. Now when I unbolt that, that control arm might shoot down at the ground, but I could just place the jack underneath it so that it didn't do that. So that's what I'm gonna try, because on this side you can see right here we've just got like a little I don't know why I'm forgetting the name. It's like a knuckle, and in there you have bushings, so it will be able to rotate. Like the bolt and everything would have no issue rotating around to drop this arm down. So I'm thinking, I'm sure that Volvo has this design where you're supposed to take this whole subframe out, the rear subframe, but I'm trying to avoid that, so I'm going to put this all back together like loosely and temporarily and see if I can drop the backside and get this spring out. And if it works without any issues, then I just got like the Volvo legendary cheat code. So let me button everything back up and I'll do something stupid for you guys. Alright, so it is now hours later, and luckily buddy old boy Jordan showed up to help me. Oh, look at that, my fuck it sticker shining a shadow right there. Jordan showed up to help me save the day, and we finally got the first side done and installed. It took way longer, but just to let you guys know, I have no experience at all with rear suspension. I've done front many times, had no idea what I was doing in this video. So you can see the coilover is installed on this side. We're keeping everything where they had it adjusted from BC Racing, but we're gonna measure this just for reference to see the difference in height we've gotten. Alright, so just for reference, we're going to measure the difference from this side that we've lowered now to the other side. And this is just this is not lowered as far as it will go. But I'm going to measure it from about center. This is not scientific, this is just for fun. And we're about 17 inches right there. And now we're going to come to the other side. And this is at about 20. So that's like a 3-inch drop. That's kind of crazy, actually. Alright, I'm leaving you guys behind again, and I'm going to try to stop doing that. So we've got the other side completely done. You guys didn't really get to see what the process of that side was, and it was because, like I said, I've not done rear suspension before, and I'm just trying to get bearing for what I'm doing. So this is what we're going to do, right? The first thing you want to do is get this control arm. Remember, this is for Volvo S60. This has nothing to do with other cars, kind of, but not really. So get this control arm loosened from down here. Right here, there's going to be a bolt, and you're going to have to access it from the other side. You need to take that off first, and then once you get that off, jack the bottom. You can see where we're jacking it from, right where the spring seat is. Jack it up a little bit to get some tension off and to get that control arm lower, because that has to be out of the way of this bolt that I have my socket wrench on, and then we're going to loosen that, and then this whole arm will drop down. Alright, excuse the super annoying barking dog next door, but we finally got it out. This bolt back here is not the easiest thing to get out, but you just gotta try to jack the control arm up and down, try to get in the right place, and eventually you'll find a sweet spot where that bolt will just pull right out. So now we're gonna lower this and get the whole spring switched out. Alright, so we finally got that control arm to drop down, and the spring came right out. If you guys get this arm loose and you're still having trouble to get it to actually drop down, just loosen that bolt up right there. I literally just cracked it and the whole arm swung down, and the spring came rolling out. So now we're about to do the next step, which is going to be putting the springs in. We're going to get the springs in first, orient them the right way, and then we're going to get this all bolted back up, and then from there, that's when we'll put it in the rear strut, and then we'll be on to the front. Alright, so I'm going to break you guys off from the time lapse real quick. So you can see this little divot right here. It's going to be weird because you're taking your spring off and it feels like you're putting it on upside down, the new one. But you have this little divot right here, and that's actually where the curve or the end of your spring is going to sit. So if you look at your spring, you have this flat side where it's all perfectly flat. That mounts up to that piece, and this is going to sit. Hold on, let me get you guys a better view. I still got this attached to the tripod. Alright, so this is going to sit in here just like that. And then you can see right there how it goes in. Boom, and that's how it's going to be. The top goes right in here, and it's going to be a lot lower. There we go. Alright, let me show you guys what just happened. Alright, so this is what just happened. Right here, there's little tabs up on the inside of the control arm on this piece. And there's a side piece right there on that rubber bushing. And that was hitting those tabs and not allowing this to sit in there where it's supposed to be. So we put the jack underneath the part where the shock bolts into right there, and we just raised it from that, and now we should be able to get a bolt in there. Alright, start lowering the jack. Slowly. Go a lot more. There we go. Alright, so you saw that drop it in place and line up. We might need to bring it back up a little tiny bit more, but I can't get a very good angle for you guys because I need to get this bolt in there. Alright, it's going in nice and easy. Perfect, that's exactly how it should go in. And now I'm just going to screw that in, and then I'll get back with you guys. Alright, so we just got this in now. You saw us get the control arm connected back up. That was total pain. But this one is actually worse. But it helps a lot if you have a second person. And what I would recommend is put the jack underneath this knuckle right here and slowly lift this up. Make sure your car is super stable if you have it off the ground. But slowly lift that back up, and eventually these two will line up, and then I literally just slid that in super easy. And now it's all about tightening that, and then we're going to put the shock in. Alright, so check that out. Spring is in. It's looking good. Just to double check, we can make sure that our spring is sitting in the right part, and it's not, actually. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's kind of raised up, so that's not good, I think. But you literally can just reach in there and turn it because it's so much shorter of a spring that it's like it's not even touching at the bottom. So now we're gonna go ahead and install the strut. It's gonna be super easy now that this is all done. So check it out. You get one person to stand by the trunk, and let me get under the car real quick because it's gonna be a lot easier. Alright, and right where we took it out of, we're going to put it back in. I'm trying to film this and be coordinated at the same time. Alright, shine that light through again, Jordan. Alright, so with that light shining through, the phone's having a really hard time seeing it, but my eyeball was able to. That's what we're trying to hit right there. So, looks like, boom, it's in. Alright, now to hold it up while your partner puts their nut on your rod. And he says it's good. So his nut is on my rod. And now it's time to bolt this in. And then we can tighten everything down from the top. And then we're completely done with the rear. Unless we have to replace these, which will suck. Alright, and the last step of the rear install process is just tightening this up, which Jordan's doing right now. It's a 5. The size for the Allen wrench is a 5, and then the nut is now a 17 millimeter. Before it was 19, but the ones with the BC Racing coilovers are 17. You having fun?
Oh, I'm having the best time of my life. Pro tip, get swivel wrenches.
I could help you by holding it, but I'm not going to since you made that comment.
Well, I mean, you're filming.
Yeah, with one hand. And
yeah, there's a lot going on right now. Behind the scenes, guys, a lot going on.
Yeah. Do you ever wonder what the inside of a Volvo trunk looks like with nothing in it? Hey, look at that. I should probably keep it like this.
For dead bodies.
Yeah, for dead bodies. Oh, I was thinking weight reduction, but, you know, dead bodies would actually add more weight.
Well, then it would balance out. You take out the weight of the, the interior. Then
so that you can fit more dead bodies.
Exactly.
Makes sense. All right, so you can tell I was the last person to tighten this because, go ahead and try to loosen it. Was that incredibly easy?
What? What the fuck?
What about the bottom ones?
Is that kosher?
What about the bottom? Right here, try that one. I haven't touched that one yet.
I don't even know if I need a socket.
No, I'll go from the bottom. Right in between those two control arms. Here, hold on, pause.
How we want it to.
No, you can reach it. I do it all the time. Here we go, I got the light on now.
Fucking rubber booty right in the way. And this one.
Alright, I'll grab the socket.
Oh, I got it. Oh, yeah, dude, that came off easy.
Oh, well then I must have been the last one to tighten it. So those bolts, or not the bolts, the nuts, are 21 millimeter, which is this guy right here. You need the rest, don't you? The girlfriend just got home too. Did you say you should have brought knee pads?
Should have brought knee pads. I haven't been on my knees this long since the bus stop days.
Aren't your knee pads always in your trunk though, along with your bondage ropes and zip ties?
Not to mention the fursuit.
And the fursuit. I always forget the fursuit. I'm not into that
Most
stuff.
people forget the fursuit. It's the subtle things.
Is the other side spinning?
Yeah.
Yep. Is that the right size? I think it might not be.
No, I think it's a 19.
Yeah, I think so too. The problem is, and
No, 18.
it came
18?
18?
18. 18 or 19. It's somewhere between 10 mil and 20.
Okay, somewhere between 10 and 20. That's good.
Glasses.
I kind of feel like TJ Hunt because I'm filming and you're doing all the work.
Is that the guy who has the channel but he doesn't do any of the work? Because he doesn't know how to? But all of his friends do?
He knows. He knows what he's doing. He's a busy guy. He's a good angle. Also, he has a Ferrari, and neither one of us have a Ferrari, so.
That's true. But I do have a really small penis, so that compensates.
But he does have a Ferrari engine in the Hyundai.
Fuck, I wish.
Oh, I thought you did, dude.
Oh, sweet.
It's a V6, right?
Barely. It feels like a 4-banger.
No, it doesn't. Maddie's fits faster than your.
I know.
We should race them someday.
No, because she can fit in between cars, so she'll lose me in the traffic.
No, we'll take them to the Reading drag strip.
Does that mean I gotta get slicks?
No.
That's lefty, yeah. Sometimes I forget which side is left and which side is right.
I wanted to take a moment to tell you guys about a charity I also have where we help people that have lower IQs than the rest of us learn things like, this. Your face looks so big on this, dude. Why does your head look so big?
Because it can't.
Is it because it's so big?
I wear a size large in flex fits. Pro tip. If anyone wants to send a flex fit our way, size large. Shit, you could probably fit a large with all your hair now.
Yeah. Hey, look at that. So the trick with this is to push in on the top of the rotor, and while he's taking that stuff out, oh wait, hold on. Remove the little wire right there for the ABS on this side. You just gotta kind of don't yank on the wire. Kind of try to turn the rubber boot as it comes out.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
You gotta like roll it like a wheel, basically.
Here, I'll hold it. You roll it. Look at all that finesse.
I'm trying to film and do this. It's not easy. Come on, roll, baby. I don't want to break it. There we go. All right, and we should. There's another one back here. We'll disconnect just so we are safe. And the brake line shouldn't really get pulled on. Now this does kind of do this. I've had this issue before. So as you can see, it's kind of stuck right now. Once we loosen the top, it'll bust loose, and we also have to take off this end-link bolt, which I forgot to tell Jordan to do. But yeah, so it's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you're done with the top.
T47.
All right, so the T40 Torx bit is what you want to use to hold the inside of that, and the 18. This should be 18, I believe. Let me double check. 18. It is in fact 18, and this sucks because you basically have to do all the turning with the socket because the wrench just doesn't have room to move in there. Turn it the other way. You want to be tightening it. It's all good. There we go. So if you're turning from the inside of this, like from the bolt, you want to be tightening it to loosen it, because you got to remember the nut is what's actually moving. Should be it. There we go. In link's off. That's going to help get that owl out of the way. And now we got to take the 3 from the top, and I believe those are 12mm. Well, right as I'm about to start my video here. Thanks, Jordan. So this is 13mm. These 3 bolts will be the last step. Don't hit my car, Jordan. I'm breaking it. Oh my god, I'm gonna kill you. To be completely fair, I was working by myself for like 3 hours before Jordan showed up. I just got absolutely nothing done, that's all. But the front should take about a quarter of the time the rear took. Don't hit my hood struts, Jordan.
You can't make those kinds of promises. Wild card.
Alright, we're getting close here. Now that one's giving him problems, that means that it's actually dropping down. So what I'm going to do is just try to lift it up and take a little bit of tension off of it.
Ready?
Is it out? Alright.
Want to do the last bolt, or you want to hold it?
Okay, now this is what you're going to do. Step on the top of my brake, like right here.
I got one that's not on. So I'm going to lift it back up there.
There we go.
Nope,
All right.
Still lift up. And there's one just dropping free on you. Okay.
All right, here, hold the phone. Okay. So now this will kind of avoid your brake line the best you can. Seriously, do not knock that off, because that'll suck. But there it is. It is out of the car. And time for these ones to go in the trash. and these ones to go in. But first, we want to put them next to each other and make sure we're putting the right side. And now, as you can see, this has 2 tabs on here, so you can't just look at them and tell if you got the right side. So all we gotta do is come back over to the car and see that the end link is in the rear. So we're gonna want the one where the hole for it is in the rear. So that won't be this one. That'll be this one. Because the bolt's in here, end link hooks up there, and then it's all cohesive. Alright, so now it's time to put this new strut back in. Let me see here. On the top we have 2 holes that are closer together and one that's further away, so I'm going to spin this around. And this is really stiff from the factory for some reason, so it's kind of hard, but I'm going to spin that around to where these bolts have the very front in the middle, because that's the way it's lined up at the top, and that's just going to make our lives a lot easier. And actually I'm putting that in backwards. They had it lined up correctly. So we need the other strut. I was looking at this the wrong way. Thought I grabbed the right one. So these little arms go out forward, not backwards. And just gonna verify that's lined up correctly.
Nuts. Brandon.
What?
Nuts.
What about them?
On the top.
They go on from the top?
Yeah. You didn't take them off this one.
Oh yeah, I didn't take them off this one. You right. You right, Shouty. I'm like, why are you yelling at me? Stop making me look stupid on my own video.
That's what I'm here for.
I am stupid. Nah.
Remember, kids, everyone makes mistakes.
Just don't want to make them as bad as I do. Like making redheaded friends, for example.
That is a huge mistake.
Alright. So in we go. That was almost too easy. Maybe it's too easy because it doesn't fit. It actually seems like it's not fitting. Are the bolts lining up with it?
Yeah, they're lining up. Well, not now. Ow.
The bottom's holding it.
Okay. I'm gonna line you up here.
It gets heavier the longer you hold it.
Yeah, I imagine. Okay, that one's there.
Okay,
Twist it to the right, counterclockwise. Counterclockwise. There you go. You're in.
All right, try to get a couple nuts on there.
All right.
You can stop filming if you need. All right, now we got the bolt or the nuts on the top of that. Now we're gonna have to use the jack again because, as you can see, it has lowered quite a bit. So we're just gonna take the jack, put it right down here. This is the knuckle area I always use to jack it up from. You just gotta watch out because there is like a little threaded part right here. So just be careful when you're jacking it up, but we're gonna jack it straight up and everything will line up. But you can see that's quite a significant drop. All right, so now we jacked it up from the knuckle that I was talking about. You can see that things are lining up in here. So time to slip these bolts in. I went through nice and easily. And where's the second set? It's under your nuts. These kinds of nuts, guys. Don't be perverted. But they were actually under his nuts. Okay, now that the top's in, the bottom has to come out like that. Roll it around a little bit. Ask it why it won't go in easily. There we go. Alright, so now all it's left to do is, if you come in close, we can clip. This even has the factory point for the ABS. So that will just click right back in right there. And this will also click back on. And these ones that are angled like this, you can actually put them like that and pull it through. Boom. And that's all done. Now the only thing left to do is tighten it. And we're done. Same thing on the other side. And the car's lowered. And we're finished. Finally. Alright, I just want to point something out to you guys so you don't break any of your stuff. The in links, you'll want to put them on right away. Don't. Okay? It doesn't reach, and trying to jack this up and force it into the hole is not going to help. The reason that it's not reaching is because the other side is still on there and it's still adjusted to factory height on this side. So as soon as we get that off, the whole swing arm will lift up. I mean the sway bar, not the swing arm. All right, here we go. I'm about to lower it down to the ground for the first time. That looks good. Damn, we did it. Look at this. It's nighttime, which kind of sucks, but this isn't even like nearly as low as it can go. This looks so much better than before, especially the rear. That is such a significant drop in the rear. Oh, that looks pretty good. Time to take it for a spin and see what we think.